Alright, what's going on, folks? In today's video, we're going to be doing something totally different. We are going to be talking about action figures, but we're going to talk about if you should collect action figures if you live in a tiny apartment building or not. The short answer is yes, but if you stay tuned and watch the rest of this video, I'm going to explain to you the pros and the cons of that situation. Alright, what's up, folks? My name's Tyler. If you've subscribed to the channel, you know what I do here. We talk about action figures, we unbox toys and reviews and all that kind of stuff. But this is going to be kind of a little long ramble, so stay with me. It's kind of hard to believe that over the last almost 5 years, I've lived in the same apartment complex, and I'm very happy with it, but at some point you just start to outgrow stuff. And over my time of living here, I really got comfortable with the fact that, hey, I make adult money now. And I just decided to buy every brand of toy action figure that there was. So I really let that FOMO marketing get to me, that fear of missing out. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this as well. In my time living here, I have probably spent way too much money on action figures. And let me just explain, this is not any kind of a goodbye, I'm stopping collecting video. It's nothing like that. It's just time for me to be real with myself and to the audience, I guess. So in my time of living here, I've collected DC Multiverse, Jurassic Park, Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, Star Wars Power of the Force, Disney Mirrorverse for whatever reason, WWE action figures, AEW action figures, Simpsons action figures, Godzilla action figures, NECA, Real Toys, horror movie action figures. I guess the only stuff that I haven't got into was G.I. Joe and TMNT, stuff like that, Power Rangers, I guess, Motu. But a couple months back, I decided to make a lot of cuts as far as what I was currently purchasing. I still have quite a bit of all that stuff I just named. I have sold some of it, a lot of it lives in totes now, but it's time to be real. I live in a 2-bedroom, little tiny apartment complex. It's not bad by any means. I live in a nice little clean apartment, but this is the point of the video. Should you be collecting action figures if you're in a position like me? And a couple little pieces of advice that I would give to myself 5 years ago. Now, if you're anything like me, a little backstory, I grew up in a poor childhood, not poor, but I didn't have a lot of stuff. And the stuff that I did have, it was few and far between, and my grandparents probably spoiled me with it. My mom wasn't a rich lady. My parents split when I was 5 years old. And so you enjoyed the little things that you had, right? But growing up, you'd see all your schoolmates and stuff like that. They'd be getting all the latest and greatest toys and video games and this and that and the other thing. And you're a little envious, right? Envy is a hell of a thing. So then when you get older and you're basically forced to grow up, my mother passed when I was 17, put me in a spot where I had to grow up fast. Not to get too personal about that, because this is a video about action figures, but the other day I had a little bit of an epiphany. My wife started just breaking down stuff and just throwing it in the dumpster. And I was like, wow, that was easy. She basically said, well, it no longer serves me. I'm ready to move on. So she threw it away. And I thought we've been talking for years and years and years about saving to buy a home. And we really haven't made any big steps to make that happen. Because stupid me keeps buying tons and tons of action figures up until the last couple months where I decided we're gonna really cool it. And then a month later, Big Bad Toy Store says, hey, we're no longer accepting Zezel as a payment option. You can't do split in 4 payments anymore. So I canceled more than half of my pre-orders that I had. The other stuff I thought was mildly affordable, and just maybe I should just collect the characters and the figures that I genuinely want, and not just, oh, the whole wave's out, I'm gonna pre-order the whole wave and buy the whole wave. Guess what? You don't need to do that. That's that FOMO that I was talking about. Little backstory. Let's rewind a little bit. A couple years back, if you knew me from the other video service, TikTok, you would know that I bought every single DC Multiverse figure that was out there. I really thought that buying all these stuff, or all these figures, was gonna set me above other content creators. And towards the end there, I was really not feeling like I was doing it because I just liked it anymore. I felt like I had to, right? So I cut that collection, and that's why I cut DC Multiverse entirely. I haven't bought a DC Multiverse action figure in probably 9-10 months. And they were just getting a little out of hand. You got seemingly 10 pre-orders a week going up. It's draining on your bank account. And when you want to create content and stuff like that, you feel like you can never catch up. And you could say that about any toy line, really. So it's gotten to the point where I currently have over 7 display bookshelves full of action figures. And when I sit there and I look at it, I'm like, man, this is a lot of cool stuff. And then remembering back to the other day when my wife just tossed stuff and didn't even think anything of it, I was like, it sent me on this mind-blowing thing that happened to me. Maybe all this buying of all these franchises and different toy lines and stuff was just me trying to heal my inner child. Which is so weird because I think a lot of us grown adults who collect action figures have been doing that for a few years. There's nothing wrong with it. I plan on keeping doing this. I don't ever plan on stopping the action figure collecting hobby. I don't. But something needs to change drastically in my life, and I guess I've kind of just come to the realization that, hey man, you don't gotta buy everything. You don't gotta try to beat these other content creators on making videos and stuff like that. It'll happen when it happens. The people that get these figures first and get these reviews out first are the people that have them sent to them. The companies will reach out to different content creators and send them the figures to review. And this isn't sour grapes. This isn't any kind of bitter anything. But I've been trying this for about 5 years now. I've been making videos for like 5 years. And while I used to make my name over there on TikTok, I've since switched over to YouTube and have been making videos over here consistently for about a year. So you can't really expect magic to happen overnight. It takes a long time for somebody to get noticed. And it is just what it is. So I gotta stop this mental game of you gotta be on top of everything, you gotta buy everything, you gotta do reviews and videos on everything. I just can't do that. And if you're a new toy collector, or if you're thinking about doing something like this, especially if you live in a smaller place, maybe really sit there and prioritize and think about, do I really need this? Just map out what you want to do. That's my only advice. Map out what you want to get, what characters do you really like, what franchises do you like, what toy lines do you like. You're never going to have everything, so don't even try it. So the long answer is yes, you can collect action figures if you live in a tiny place, tiny townhouse, apartment complex, whatever. But I would say, from somebody who has been doing this for many years, don't put yourself in the rabbit hole. Don't put yourself into debt because you think you gotta have the newest, latest, and greatest action figure to make a video of, because it'll just happen if it's supposed to happen. And it hasn't happened for me yet, but I'm gonna keep grinding and keep doing videos and keep making Simpsons videos, because that's where I'm at now. I'm not too concerned about making videos of DC Multiverse and Jurassic Park, Hammond Collection, and NECA, Jason Voorhees figures. I'm not concerned about that anymore. While I like all those things, and will continue to like them probably as long as I have, and many years to the future, I've decided that I think The Simpsons is just my thing, and I'm sticking to my lane. I'm gonna still collect wrestling action figures, but I gotta be very selective on those, because you gotta think, 6 figures in an elite line plus a chase, plus 3 new ultimates, and maybe a chase. That's like $250, $300 down the drain. And they do that once a month. So I have to chill with wrestling action figures just like I had to chill with a lot of other stuff. So as far as the Simpsons stuff goes, it's easy to just go on eBay and grab an old Simpsons toy. Plus, as far as the new Jax stuff, they only put out a new wave quarterly. Much better on the bank account. So, like I said, the long answer is go ahead, collect your action figures if you're in a small place. But in my mindset, I needed to start doing something mentally to prepare myself for, hey man, you gotta start saving up to buy a house, because guess what? While all these toys are cool, they would look so much cooler if you had a big house or a man cave in the basement to set up all this stuff. So I guess what I will be doing from here is, I really think that, and I'm not going to show the current situation, but I have 7 full shelves in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment full of action figures. I had 8. One of the shelves got thrown away already. I packed up the figures, put them in totes, and that's where they live now until I buy a new house. So for me, it's a mental thing of, hey, let's pack up all this stuff, throw away the shelves, put a desk in here, make this room more clean, more open, and cooler looking for videos. So you might think, well, that's strange, you're just gonna pack up every figure and throw away your shelves? There's a mental game of it. It'll push me harder to want to start saving more to buy a house. So I'm gonna keep the Simpsons stuff out, but I think everything else is gonna be packed up and the shelves are gonna be tossed, just because we gotta get in the right mental state. And this video is literally just me holding myself accountable and speaking to the world of YouTube, I guess. So if you like this video, comment, let me know what your thoughts are. Because I feel like at some point, all of us seasoned toy collectors have gone through this struggle of shelves are full, gotta make room, or buy new shelves. Well, when you can't buy no more shelves because you don't have any more room, what do? You pack up figures to totes. You decide, what can I sell to make room for more stuff? My advice, take that money and be smarter than I was. Buy yourself a nice home, buy yourself a bigger spot, then collect action figures if you can afford it. I just tend to do things the hard way. When I moved into my own place, I just thought, wow, I have all this free reign to do whatever I want. So I filled my space with all this nerdy collectible stuff. And realistically, I should have saved that money to buy a home so then I could later on fill it with all this nerdy collectible stuff. But now we're doing it the other way. So now I'm gonna have all this nerdy stuff that I'm gonna have to move in this big house, hopefully, that I can get into one day with my wife and go from there. So that's it for the ramble. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you all in the next one.